Hi guys, I'm Saintvicious, and I'm going to be doing the TFT patch 9.17 rundown. Let's hop into it. Alright, we got the Pantheon being added. He's a new unit. He's a 5 cost. He's Dragon and Guardian. His ultimate basically he leaps up in the air, and then he aims for the furthest target on the board, and then he does damage to everybody in between. And he also applies Grievous Wounds and does 20% of their maximum health and true damage over 10 seconds. So it's pretty much like applying Morello or red buff to everybody at the end of the ability, and then when he does the original dash, he does 15 to 30% of their maximum health and magic damage. So seems like a really strong unit. Dragon and Guardian are very strong synergies to have, especially on like a 5 cost unit. You know, you can build some really cool Guardian Sorc builds with this, where you don't have to get stuck having Shyvana in a Sorcerer comp, which, you know, doesn't really make any sense because he doesn't really do any like magic damage or anything. And it just complements, like, if you were to go like Leona plus Pantheon, and then you have like Aesol and like your other mages. So I think that this unit's going to be like super strong. You're going to see him in a lot of different comps, and I think he pretty much can be like plugged into any composition, specifically because it gives the Grievous Wound buff, which I think is like very valuable. The only other unit in the game that applies Grievous Wounds is Katarina, and obviously everybody knows she's useless. Another big impact that this unit being added to the game, it also hurts some compositions like Nobles or 6 Shapeshifters or any of the other compositions that require a legendary unit to complete. It doesn't really sound like adding the unit would do very much, but it actually dilutes the pool substantially. So this is actually a very, very big nerf to Nobles, this being added. So probably Nobles are going to be like a little in this patch as well. And also on top of that, he applies Grievous Wounds on an AoE, which is good against Nobles too. So Nobles got hurt a lot by this unit being put into the game. The first carousel now has all 2 cost units. That's really good because sometimes, you know, you want an item, but you don't want to pick up that 1 cost unit and take the hit. This is going to just make the first carousel a little bit more evened out. I kind of like this change a lot. And it also can make some units that, you know, you might be able to, like, let's say I see like a Varus with like a Rod or a Recurve or something. Like, I'm going to be more prone to picking that up. You know what I'm saying? It gives you those more options of snowballing with good 2 cost units. Ghost Armies now benefit from trait bonuses. You know, before Ghost Army was bugged on live patch where pretty much is a free win. Now it's going to actually be something that can kill you. So that's going to definitely alter the in-game scenario. So I think it'll kind of like make the game a little bit more hype. Attack speed cap has now been increased from 2.5 to 5.0. I think the only way you can really reach this is if you have like rapid fire or like some type of blade master buff or something along those lines. So I think that maybe you'll see some like, I think maybe Rageblade might be a little bit more valuable in this particular patch. I think Rengar could probably hit the attack speed cap pretty easily. So just some things like that to keep in mind. I don't think it's going to like apply in that many scenarios. I don't really see that often where people have a max attack speed or above, but definitely could be some cool little situations you could do with some items. Tooltips have now been updated to be more clear and number scale with ability power. That's just like a quality of life change. Assassins, they basically made it to where assassins are more consistent with their crit damage, but they do less overall crit damage. If you think about it, this is like a buff to assassins because now assassins will be like more efficient with their damage. They won't like crit for 10 billion and overkill a unit. Now they're going to crit more often, but they maybe might not one-shot that unit, but they'll be more efficient with the amount of autos it takes them to like kill that unit. So it's a buff overall to assassins in that regard. However, it's a nerf to units like Rengar, which have guaranteed critical strike on his ultimate, where he'll do less damage overall. I mean, he'll probably still one-shot people just because he does such an absurd amount of damage with that crit. But I think, yeah, overall this is a buff to assassins and should just make them feel like a little bit more consistent overall. Hex deck has now been lowered to 7 seconds instead of 8. I think 8 was a little bit brutal. 7 sounds a little bit more right. Still like very good. Hex deck's very useful, something that you might want to throw into your composition still. Nobles, they got nerfed beyond even more so than when the hotfix came out. Now they do 50 armor and MR, and now the healing is 25. Not only does this hurt their late game, but it also hurts their early game. And remember, we talked about earlier, Pantheon was added into the pool, so now I think with those changes, I think Nobles might actually be gutted pretty hard. I'm not sure if they'll be unplayable. They'd probably still be some niche scenarios where you might want to play them. If you just get handed to them, if they get handed to you on a silver platter, you might look for that. But overall, I think Nobles took a really, really, really big hit in this patch because of those changes. Rangers now do 20 from basically get a 5% attack speed increase, so or the chance for it to happen. I don't know. It's just I don't think this is the change that's really gonna make Rangers crazy, is it? I don't know. It's hard to say. Like I play Rangers on live, and you just get like run over by brawlers, or like Cho'Gath just runs up and like ults your whole team and kills you, and like Vi ults your Ashe or whatever, and you just die. So it's like I don't know. And on top of that, Shapeshifters also got buffed, including units like Gnar, which everybody knows Gnar is the bane of Ranger's existence just because he can get scooped out of the Kindred ultimate. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to be seeing any Rangers on this patch. We'll see though. Maybe like Rageblade is actually like really good on them with the way that the attack speed works. But I'll have to try some things out, and we'll see how strong they are. Nidalee now transforms faster, costs her less mana. Jace has less armor, but now he'll transform more consistently even if units aren't in range. Shyvana now transforms a little bit faster, pretty much like one auto difference. And then Gnar, total mana, he transforms also faster. So I think that this is a pretty decent buff to Shapeshifters, especially to the one-cost ones that usually don't get to get their ultimates off. And it's a huge buff to Gnar, just with how fast he'll actually be able to shapeshift and change. So I think Shapeshifters might be kind of cool. I definitely think you could expect to see some like comps where you throw in just the 3 Shapeshifter bonus in Gnar, like Gnar, Swain, Shyvana, or any of those types of builds. I think those builds will be like pretty popular. Yordles. Yeah, this is what is really going to help them. There's some like item changes that are happening like in the next big patch that are like going to help Yordles, but I don't think that this is going to be the particular patch that really pushes Yordles over. This is a buff over, however, to Yordle Sorks and to Gnar with some like Yordles and things like that. So I think this is like a small buff, and it might be like helping out some mage comps with it, but I don't think you're going to be seeing 6 Yordles on this patch at all. Graves now, he doesn't do like the lawnmower Graves thing. He kind of like shoots like a straight line of like shotgun shot. So lawnmower Graves isn't a thing anymore. Warwick got a 50 health buff. It's whatever. Warwick, I always just thought was just something they get brawler buff and wild buff. So maybe this combined with like the Gnar and the Nidalee buffs might actually be some things that like push wilds over a little bit. So we'll see. Lysandra got a 50 health buff, and now she casts her ult a little bit more consistently, and it does a little bit more damage, 50 damage overall at rank 2. So still not sure that this is like the big thing that makes Lysandra like OP or anything like that, but I don't know, maybe she's more viable. We'll see. I don't really like her that much. Lucian, Relentless Pursuit's second shot now scales with Lucian's attack speed, so maybe like some Rageblade Lucian build or something like that could be pretty good. And he probably also benefits better from Shiv now with this build as well, so it's a decent buff to Lucian overall. Gangplank, everybody knows he's super popular on the live patch with the way that you build him into nobles. They nerfed his damage on his ultimate quite considerably, 75 per barrel and 50 on rank 1, so probably not going to be seeing a crazy amount of Gangplank in this like patch. So good night, Sweet Prince. Leona got her ultimate nerfed by 1 second in rank 2. I think that's pretty reasonable. I mean, if you got Leona stunned on your carry, you just like auto lost like a late game fight. It was really obnoxious, and I think Leona plus Pantheon are going to be an insanely scary combination going into this new patch. So I think that this nerf is definitely warranted, but I still think she's super strong. They changed the way that healing Grievous Wounds works. So now Grievous Wounds healing reduction is 80% instead of 100%. BT is 50, it went down from 50 to 40%. Hex Tech is now 25% from 33%. Swain's Demon Flare, which is his ultimate, now heals for 20 less. And the Redemption healing also went down by 300. I think that this is like a decent change. I mean, if you think about how like lifesteal works in like other games, usually like lifesteal in most other games it's like 5 to 10% lifesteal, right? In this game it's 50%. So I think that it's smart that they tone down those numbers a little bit, and then as a byproduct of that, they can actually start toning down the way that Grievous Wounds works as well. So I think this is a step in the right direction. So yeah, kind of a fan of that. I like that. A lot of the items that would not get re-enabled with Hex Tech also got fixed. So maybe these items will be a little bit more viable again, like Zeke's, i.e. Ionic Spark Lock. These items were unbuildable before, so now they're actually like buildable items. So Let's see, and then they just did like a bunch of bug fixes, like targeting, all those types of things. Then they also upgraded Dragon and Elder Dragon Fireball VFX. So I think this is an interesting patch. My main takeaway is that like Shapeshifters will probably be cool. I think Pantheon Leona combo are going to be really, really strong. Nobles are pretty much gutted. I think Yordle Sorks will be super strong. You keep an eye out on those. There may be some Ranger builds with like Rageblade that might rise up and become really powerful. You need to look out for those. And then pretty much like not really that many crazy big changes. I think like the real big patch is going to come in 2 weeks when they release 9.18, which we'll talk about in another video. But I hope you guys enjoyed the patch rundown, and good luck out there. Bye bye.